Hey, everybody, I'm the Ranting Monkey, and with me, as always, is Scribe. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
And lovely STA is joining us as well. Say hello.
Hello.
And guys, before we go anywhere tonight is my 24th wedding anniversary to the lovely Lady Monkey. And I just want to say, I love you so much, and thank you for having such low standards.
Oh, I love you too. Oh, you're talking to Lady Monkey.
Congratulations, you guys.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
24 years. 24 years.
Yeah.
That's 2 dozen.
Oh, yes, it is.
It is.
Yeah. Hey, Matt. Yay.
So before the stream started, we were discussing a story we'll talk about later, the hurricane hitting Texas right now.
I'm not laughing at the hurricane, by the way.
I happen to mention that I like hurricanes. I used to live in Virginia Beach, and every time they came in, we were lucky we never got hurt. But after the first one, we were there for Gloria. We went up into the mountains for that. But after that, we never went anywhere. We just stayed where we were. And I love big storms like that. And SDA asked me why I love them. And I say, I like storms. And she responded,
Aren't hurricanes bad for you?
as though it was a question.
Like, I don't know where that came from. I was just like, aren't they bad for you? And you were like, really?
Hurricanes, aren't they bad for you? So how are you guys today?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Jinx.
I apologize for missing yesterday. Sorry. I was in a lot of pain from my bat fight. I'm still in a lot of pain. So if you guys hear me moan tonight, I apologize. I'm gonna do my best to keep that quiet.
Yeah, it's not Lady Monkey celebrating the anniversary. It's Monkey in pain. Just say it.
Indeed, yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, I missed my Patreon stream today because Jinx, we were out in the backyard. I have a massive backyard with lots of like divots. It's a yard. It's not a lawn. And he was just like chasing a ball, and he kind of like slipped and did a somersault, which he does, but he was like yelping, and so his paw was messed up. It seems to be okay right now. He's kind of sleeping it off, but yeah, so sorry about that. I will be sending you guys a message on Patreon in the next couple of days so that we can reschedule it. We might end up doing 2 in September, so just bear with me. But thank you guys for being so understanding. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jordan. Happy anniversary to you and Lady Monkey. I assume you got her something expensive, so this should help keep your wallet from being completely empty. Thank you so much. So far, all we did is go to dinner. We haven't had much time together. That's what the weekend is for.
Mm-hmm.
So, busy news day.
Oh, God. Well, where do you want to start?
Yeah, a lot happened.
I mean, stuff happened like within the hour since, in the last hour, basically.
I hear hurricanes are bad for you, so let me start with that.
You want to start the hurricane? Alrighty. So let me refresh here in case something's changed in the last 20 minutes. And of course, CNN's going to play a video for me. Aren't you, CNN? Of course you are, because you're a jerk and I can't turn this off for some reason. It'd be nice if you could do that. Like say, I don't want to listen to videos. Come on, start playing it so I can mute it. There you go. All right. So, Hurricane Harvey, hours from landfall, is dangerous Category 4 storm. The time for dire warnings. Wait, what? Okay, I'll read it as it's written. I don't know if this is going to make sense or not. The time for dire warnings, comma, how Hurricane Harvey is life-threatening and could cause catastrophic damage, comma, is almost over. Okay. All right, that's came off a little weird at first. The reality is the Category 4 storm has begun to pound the Texas coast and its millions of residents with hurricane-force winds knocking down trees, power poles, and signs, and with torrential rain deluging the streets. The eye of the storm is still a few hours offshore, but the storm's surge, downpours, and harsh winds are already pummeling the shores. The National Hurricane Center warns that some areas will see as much as 13 feet of storm surge and large destructive waves. Maximum sustained winds were at 130 miles per hour Friday night. And there's the rain that the slow-moving storm is expected to produce. Because it is expected to come to a near halt inland, Harvey could drop as much as 40 inches of rain in some places and up to 30 inches in others by Wednesday. By Wednesday.
hmm It's
I was gonna,
expected to hang around for a while.
yeah, okay.
Typically, sorry, when one like hits the East Coast, it bounces off, so it doesn't hang.
Okay.
The ones coming into Texas, the ones that hit like Louisiana, they can sit there for a while.
Oh boy, the combination of wind and water could leave wide swaths of South Texas, quote, uninhabitable for weeks or months, the National Weather Service in Houston said. Such daunting language hasn't been seen by CNN's experts since Hurricane Katrina, which left more than 1,800 people dead in 2005. The threat has also prompted officials in at least one town to ask residents who stay behind to write their social security numbers on one of their arms in case. It will make identifying bodies easier. Oh, Lord.
That
And
is
the illegals can do
really messed up. Like, I get that you're staying. Can you just write your social security on your arm in permanent marker so that when you croak, we know who you are? Thanks.
Yep.
Like, Jesus.
The center of the storm is 35 miles east of Corpus Christi, and Harvey is moving to the northwest at just 8 miles per hour. A hurricane warning is in effect for about 1.5 million people, with another 16 million under a tropical storm warning. Quote, Texas is about to have a very significant disaster, said Brock Long, director of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Governor Greg Abbott warned of record-setting flooding and called on people to flee the area before the storm hits. Quote, my top goal is to be able to make it through this storm in a way in which we lose no lives, Abbott said. Put your life first and your property second. Residents were urged to evacuate. A mass exodus from the coast caused extensive traffic jams along the state's highways, while other people boarded up windows and stocked up on food and water ahead of the storm, the effects of which are expected to last for days. The storm will stall and dump rain on South Texas and parts of Louisiana into the middle of next week, forecasters predicted. And then there's the latest developments, okay? I guess this is what they're updating. Rockport, Texas officials are advising residents who refuse to evacuate to write their names in. Yeah, right, okay. The NWS, National Weather Service, in Corpus Christi issued an extreme wind warning for portions of the coast through 7 p.m. in Texas. Widespread destructive winds of 115 to 145 miles per hour will produce swaths of tornado-like damage, the agency said. Texas's governor requested additional federal help with a presidential disaster declaration. The White House is considering the declaration. The White House said President Donald Trump plans to visit Texas next week. The ports
after Wednesday.
Yeah, the ports of Corpus Christi and Galveston are closed. 3 Galveston-based cruise ships in the Gulf of Mexico diverted to safer water. Let's see. Yeah, so yeah, that's basically it. I mean, everything else is sort of like going into detail what I've already covered. So,
real quick, thank you, Sir Adamantine. Happy anniversary, Mr. and Mrs. Monkey. Thank you so much, and thank you, Sanguine. So, will this be a case of president show up, or how dare he, or president didn't show up, how dare he? Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. It'll be one of those.
Yeah, one of the two. Yeah, so we know at least one of our frequent listeners, Captain Assassin, is somewhere in the realm.
He's in Corpus, apparently. Dude.
Yeah, he's in Corpus. So, Captain Assassin, I hope you stay safe if you're even hearing this at this point. Preferably
he's in the
somewhere.
chat. So.
Oh, is he in the chat? Okay, well, dude, yeah, really, I hope you're in a safe spot because, you know, this sounds like there's no other way of putting it. It's catastrophic looking. So, yeah, dude, stay safe. The other thing, I don't have a story for this, but I heard it on the radio a couple of times. Apparently, even though New Orleans isn't in the direct path of this, on the off chance that the thing turns sideways or something, their pumping system is broken.
Oh, like Katrina.
And I thought today, of all the cities in this country that should not be unprepared for something like this, and their pump systems are malfunctioning. Like, jeez. So I don't know. But I'll keep the story up, and I'll keep refreshing it over the course of the stream in case something new happens or there's some new update on what's going on, because it's moving slowly, but, if it's 8 miles an hour, that means in 2 hours it'll be 10 miles inland, so.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
What?
Base Mama says, screw you guys, this is my night. It is my 24th anniversary.
Hey!
I get the night.
Hey! We are here every night. You are stepping on our turf, my dear.
Hi, Base Mama. I hope you have a good night.
What Scribe is saying is back up off our nuts.
That's right.
SDA loves you.
Love you, Mama.
That's right.
SDA is not mean like these two.
That's right. She has no testosterone.
She's really sweet.
Yeah. So the other thing that happened. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Anybody who is in the path that can still hear this, please be safe. Don't do anything stupid. I understand that there's times you can't. And while I do love storms, I would never encourage anybody to stay there. But just keep your head down, your ass dry. And Captain Assassin, I want to hear from you when we know it's passed. I want to know you're safe, dude. Okay, sorry.
Base Mama says, but I wanted Scribe Streamception later. Can you stream at 2 streams at the same time? I don't think you can. Or that'd be I wouldn't want to risk that one. If you're still going after this stream's over with, I'll pop in. But I have responsibility. I have obligations and responsibilities. I'm an adult.
Sorry.
Shush. So anyway,
me.
Shortly before the stream started, some news broke.
Uh-oh.
Trump pardons former Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
Oh, cool.
President Donald Trump has pardoned controversial Sheriff Joe Arpaio of his conviction for criminal contempt, the White House said Friday night. CNN reported Wednesday that the White House had prepared the papers for Trump's final decision. Arpaio, who was a sheriff in Maricopa County, Arizona, was found guilty of criminal contempt last month for disregarding a court order in a racial profiling case. His sentencing was scheduled for October 5th. Not only did this is a quote, not only did Arpaio abdicate responsibility, he announced to the world and to his subordinates that he was going to continue business as usual no matter who said otherwise, wrote U.S. District Judge Susan Bolton in the July 31st order. Trump indicated he would pardon Arpaio at a rally in Phoenix, Arizona on Tuesday. Quote, I won't do it tonight because I don't want to cause any controversy. Mr. President, doesn't matter when you do it.
Yeah.
Just how it is. Quote, I'll make a prediction, Trump said, adding, I think he's going to be just fine. However, civil rights groups have pushed back against the possibility of Arpaio's pardon. After Trump's comments at the Phoenix rally, the ACLU tweeted, quote, President Trump should not pardon Joe Arpaio. Phoenix rally, hashtag Phoenix rally, hashtag no Arpaio pardon, accompanied with a graphic that reads, no, President Trump, Arpaio was not just doing his job, he was violating the Constitution and discriminating against Latinos. Arpaio, who has called himself America's toughest sheriff, was an early Trump supporter, but his stance on illegal immigration was what had earned him national recognition. He pardoned him, whether you wanted him to or not. So,
yeah, hashtag the president gets to make that call, jackass.
Yeah, so there you go. What else? So Trump had other exciting activities today. Trump signs directive banning transgender military recruits. Let's see. President Donald Trump on Friday directed the military not to move forward with an Obama-era plan that would have allowed transgender individuals to be recruited into the armed forces, following through on his intentions announced a month earlier to ban transgender people from serving. The presidential memorandum also bans the Department of Defense from using its resources to provide medical treatment regimens for transgender individuals currently serving in the military. Trump also directed the Departments of Defense and Homeland Security, quote, to determine how to address transgender individuals currently serving based on military effectiveness and lethality, unity cohesion, budgetary constraints, applicable law, and all factors that may be relevant. The White House official who briefed reporters on the memo on Friday evening declined to say whether current transgender troops would be allowed to remain in the military under those policy guidelines. Yeah. So they still don't have a plan stated for how they're going to manage people already in the military.
Well, yeah, there's it's a shit show. Reversing something like that isn't as easy as just signing a document.
Right. You want some more news?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. What else we got?
Holy shit! I mean, we had a full meal deal today. North Korea. You want some North Korea?
Yeah, give me some crazy dog eaters.
Okay, North Korea fires short-range projectiles. North Korea fired several unidentified short-range projectiles. They have since been identified as short-range missiles, just so everybody knows. From Kitayong Kwang province into the sea east of the Korean peninsula, the South Korean Joint Chiefs of Staff said. The projectiles flew about 250 kilometers or 155 miles, into the Sea of Japan or East Sea, the Saturday statement said. Quote, our military is closely monitoring for North Korean additional provocation and strengthened surveillance and security postures and maintaining readiness postures. I love translated news briefs. The South Korean release said, North Korea has conducted a series of ballistic missile tests this year, increasing tensions with the United States, South Korea, and Japan. So we got a disastrous hurricane. We have a signing transgender ban. We have pardoning Arpaio, and now we have North Korea firing missiles. Jesus.
Do you think they fired the short range ones because they're all out of money and can't do any more ICBMs?
One would hope. One would hope
that they have a lot of money.
Yeah, well, I mean, and they're getting this stuff from somebody, probably Russia and or China.
Right.
And maybe they're just running out. Yeah, they're waiting for the next shipment to come in through Amazon or whatever.
Oh, man.
Okay, what else do we got? Oh, boy. So there's a couple of stories that were pushed to the sidelines, obviously, because of all the other stuff going down. Did they take the link away? They did. There was a stabbing attack in, I think it was it Norway? I forget. Oh, there was another.
It would think it was London, right? Or was it Brussels?
Oh, that was right. It was Brussels. Hold on, let me.
I think there were two.
Okay, so CNN has gotten rid of the link to that story. So let me find it real quick. Brussels attack. Here we go. All right, so BBC, Brussels attack. Man shot after stabbing troops. Is it going to play a video on me? No. Okay. A man has been shot. Oh, yeah.
Before Minding Freedom, thank you. Does ESPN have an announcer named Kim Jong-un?
No.
They have a Robert Lee.
They have a Robert Lee. Not anymore. He's practically fired.
They were like, we're so worried that he's going to get memed, which is why we did it. I'm like, no, it's not, you idiot. You weren't.
No. You didn't want to trigger people.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, here we go. Let's see. A man has been shot dead after attacking two soldiers with a machete in the center of Brussels. The attacker, aged 30, was injured in the street, but later died in the hospital. One of the soldiers suffered a wound to the face. The other has a hand injury. Photographs showed the street cordoned off with police and troops in the area. Soldiers have become a familiar sight in the streets of the Belgian capital since terror attacks which killed more than 30 people last year. And here's the kicker. Belgium's federal prosecutor's office said the attacker was, quote, not known for terrorist activities, but said that he had shouted Allahu Akbar during the assault.
Of course he did.
The attack on Friday is being treated as a terrorist incident. Surprise, surprise, the prosecutor's office said. Witness Ryan McDonald wrote on Twitter that he heard the sound of a gunshot before seeing a heavy police presence outside. The attack took place on Boulevard Émile Jacquemin in the center of Brussels. Yeah, so there you go. We had our terrorist attack for the day, I suppose.
Thank you, Sanguine. In other news, Base Mama said tongue-punching turtle caves is almost a public good. Almost.
Good.
And there was, what was the one that I saw earlier today? Okay, here we go. And then, as if that wasn't bad enough, at least on the other side of the world, ISIS attack targets Afghanistan's Shiites. So they're giving regular updates on this because it's pretty big. A senior hospital official says that at least 20 people were killed in the hours-long siege of a Shiite Muslim mosque in the Afghan capital of Kabul. Mohammed Salim Rasooli, chief of Kabul's hospitals, said at least 50 more were wounded, many of them children. The mosque was packed with worshippers attending Friday prayers. Friday is the Muslim Sabbath when worshippers usually attend prayers at the mosque. I'm trying to figure out, let's see. I'm trying to figure out find some details on exactly what happened because they split this up in a different. Police say the hours-long attack at a Shiite Muslim mosque in the Afghan capital of Kabul has ended with all 4 attackers dead.
Oh.
Okay, so 4 of them. I can't. Was this like a hostage situation or something? It's hard to tell. Anyway. It sounds like these 4 guys stormed the mosque, went in there, killed a bunch of people, and then sort of held their ground in there until they got killed too.
Okay. Well, speaking of terrorism, we have a birthday song.
For who?
Whom?
English
major.
Whatever.
Whatever, me. Sorry.
Soar2244 has a birthday today.
How sore is he?
I don't know.
Happy birthday.
All right. This is going to be an interesting
I
one.
gotta get ready.
Oh, sorry.
I'm ready.
Me.
Count us down.
Oh, 3, 5, 9.
Happy
birthday
birthday
to you. Happy birthday
to
you.
Happy
birthday, dear Soar 2244.
Happy birthday.
Birthday to you. Woo.
Well done.
Yay.
SDA, did you join us there for a moment?
For like one.
Well done.
One
For
moment.
one.
You want some more news?
Yes. What else we got?
Yeah, more
Holy shit.
do it.
Okay, you're going to play another video again, aren't you? Of course you are, because you're stupid. Come on. Get it over with. CNN. I wish they had a control panel for this crap. Or isn't there something you can do, like turn off video autoplay somewhere on, on your browser?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely Google that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right-wing group cancels Saturday San Francisco rally. A white wing.
Oh, white wing. right.
Hey, it is a white wing.
Right.
A right-wing group on Friday canceled a freedom rally it had planned for Saturday near the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, removing one major source of feared violence for city leaders, though others remained. The group, known as Patriot Prayer, instead planned a news conference at a park in the city on Saturday to explain what its leader, Joey Gibson, called the failure of police and elected officials to keep the group safe. Gibson said the group planned to join another rally on Sunday in nearby Berkeley, an anti-Marxist gathering hosted by a transgender supporter of President Donald Trump. Well, that's going to make some people's heads explode.
Mm-hmm.
The anti-Trump organization, By Any Means Necessary, which has sometimes supported violent tactics, hasn't it, has vowed to shut down the Berkeley rally. With violent tactics, by any chance? Even before it gained new prominence with the cancellation of the Saturday event. Gibson said the rhetoric of Mayor Ed Lee and other San Francisco leaders prompted the decision to replace the rally at Crissy Field with the news conference at Alamo Park. Alamo Park? That's an auspicious choice of location for you. Gibson has said the group disavows racism and hatred. The civic leaders are on edge following the August 12th white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia that turned deadly. Deidre Hussey, spokeswoman for Lee, had no comment on the cancellation.
I'm sorry. What was her last name?
Hussey, Hussey. She's a Hussey.
Right.
So Deidre Hussey, the spokeswoman for the mayor, had no comment. Well, why bother saying anything? It's like you said nothing. By the way, we went to this person, they had nothing to say, even though they're the spokeswoman for the mayor. So the mayor had nothing to say. Earlier in the day, hundreds of people rallied raucously and danced against hate at City Hall. They held signs that read "Unite Against Hate" and cheered religious and elected officials who took to the microphone to speak of love and champion diversity in a city that famously prides itself as a sanctuary for gays, minorities, and people who are in the country illegally. Hip-hop artist MC Hammer, who grew up in Oakland, railed against the hate that killed leaders in the 1960s, including President John F. Kennedy and Malcolm X.
I believe in you, Scribe Right.
Holy cow. Quote, hate is dangerous, and we can't sit back and say, well, let them demonstrate, it'll go away.
I mean, like, we totally could. We totally could do that. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but the Klan does a thing every year. Yeah. And every year, nothing happens.
So MC Hammer is advocating for people not to be allowed to demonstrate. Not to, do violence or something, but just not even to demonstrate.
Real quick, thank you, Jim O'Donnell, who gave a donation and didn't get their words in, but they did ask. I told them if they meant to say something, I'd read it. They asked what my mic interface gear. I use a Blue Snowball, and it's just plug and play. Thank you, Sanguine. The other dangers that remain were the alt-left that would still decide to break shit and riot for shits and giggles, right? Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, if they decided that something or someone or some business's windows were being hateful. Okay, well, that's all the news stories I had prepared.
Did we talk about Sargon yet? Or
no,
YouTube
that's
time?
YouTube time.
Sorry.
Boy, where are you tonight?
What?
She's still wondering if hurricanes are bad.
I know, right?
I know. I'm such an idiot.
Let's see. I'll make sure because I do have one. We have a few minutes left before we can go to MSS News. I have to read this, and this came. Oh God, who sent this? I think it was Jack Cochran who sent this. I could be mistaken. Yes.
Sorry. Somebody mentioned Stone Mountain in chat.
Mentioned what?
Stone Mountain. Okay, so Stone Mountain is in Georgia, and it's actually the largest bas relief carving in the world. Like, the guy who did Mount Rushmore gave up on Stone Mountain, but nobody knows that because it's a Confederate memorial. And they've been wanting to sandblast it off the face of the mountain for years. And I'm just going to say they literally can't do that, because if they do anything that makes it, that like takes away the integrity of the Confederate memorial of the site, whether they turn down the Confederate Museum, anything like that, it goes back to the original family who owned it, meaning that it goes back to founders of the KKK. So they're kind of, they're stuck in a corner. They're not going to touch Stone Mountain. Anyway, sorry.
Okay.
Have you guys ever seen Stone Mountain?
Nope.
You should look it up. Like,
I've seen videos of it.
It's ridiculous. It's really beautiful, and it's huge. It's like twice as big or bigger than Mount Rushmore. Like I said, nobody knows about it because, you know, Confederacy and whatnot. Anyway.
So I believe, I forget, because I retweeted this to myself, but I think it was Jack Cochran that sent this. If I'm mistaken, I apologize. But our friends at The Root have put out another great headline.
Oh, dear God.
Are you guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. Brace yourselves. Charles Barkley is a great example of a black white supremacist.
Oh, did you see his video?
No,
I'm sure.
This is,
he did an interview where he was talking about the Confederate statue. So go ahead. I'm sure it's mentioned.
And this comes from a regular contributor to The Root, Michael Harriot, and it's filed under the heading Stupid Negroes.
Oh, my God.
Now, Michael Harriot is black. The Root reports on usually majority black stories or stories about black people or black culture. Just so this isn't me saying this. This is The Root doing this. All right.
Minding Freedom really wants you to know that it was him.
Was you minding? I apologize. I thought so much has happened today.
And then Jack Cochran is sassing him, saying that a bunch of people sent that one. So
okay. Well,
fight in the chat. Do it.
Okay.
Do it. Do it.
Okay. Well, I retweeted it from a particular individual. I forget who it was. But thank you, Minding. Thank you, anybody else who sent it. All right. There are 3 questions for which Black America has never received a satisfactory answer. Number 1, why is the word swole, S-W-O-L-E?
You've never heard the word swole before?
No, I don't know what that is.
That's adorable.
Why is the word swole never mentioned in the list of great black inventions? 2, did we ever get a satisfactory answer to who in the hell left the gate open? And perchance, was it the same person who let the dogs out? Okay. And 3, why won't Charles Barkley shut the fuck up? He's an American citizen. That's my first guess. Anyway, does anyone ever... okay, yeah. Let me get into the mode here to read this. Does anyone even listen to him at this point? Let's set aside his basketball commentary for a minute. Well, obviously you are if you're writing a whole blog post about him. Jesus. Let's just set aside his basketball commentary for a minute, where I still find him to be the NBA's most consistently entertaining and insightful commentator. Is there anyone who thinks that Barkley's statements about race reveal anything other than his repeated willingness to throw black people under the bus for our stupid unwillingness to assimilate into whiteness? That was all one sentence, just so you know. Yeah, I know. I'm sure some educated right-leaning Negro conservative has already jumped in the comment section typing in all italics because a black Republican would never use all caps like a savage about how, quote, black people are not a monolith, unquote, and something about questioning people's blackness. But let's be honest, we all have a friend, coworker, or cousin who believes that the white man's ice is a few degrees colder, and no one exemplifies the black man's subconscious acceptance of white superiority more than Barkley.
The fuck?
What just happened? Like, my brain just melted. I'm not gonna lie.
This, you know, I swear to God. Okay, I've mentioned this before. There's a book I bought back in the 90s after the Oklahoma City bombing. It's called The Gathering Storm, and it was written by, I believe it was Morris Dees, who was an executive at the Southern Poverty Law Center back in the olden days. And they had examples in that book of white supremacist manifesto type writings describing other races and things and other individuals that they didn't like, especially people at the Southern Poverty Law Center. I swear to God, if you switch out the colors in this blog, turn white to black and black to white, it reads like that shit.
Real quick, thank you, Sanguine. Stupid Negroes for when Uncle Tom isn't racist enough. Yeah.
I wonder if Michael Harriot believes in race realism then. Okay, continuing. This isn't too long, so if we get bored of it, I'll stop it. The, quote, round ass clown of rebound, unquote, I guess that's his name for Barkley, was added again Thursday, talking about politics and race with journalist Rick Carl, and as usual, he took white people's side on the issue.
No, quote, he didn't, you lying motherfucker.
Quote, I'm not going to waste my time thinking about these Confederate statues. That's wasted energy. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep doing great things. I'm going to keep trying to make a difference. Number one, in the black community because I'm black, but also I'm also going to try to do good things in the world. I'm not going to waste my time screaming at neo-Nazis who's going to hate me no matter what, and I'm not going to waste my time worrying about these statues they got all over the country. That was Barkley talking. Now we're back to the blog. While that might sound a little benign, a little? Okay. You might remember that Barkley only recently discovered racism after someone at TNT had the bright idea to let a man whose primary achievement in life was his uncanny ability to catch a basketball when someone else missed host. What? Well, okay. You know, for someone who writes professionally, punctuation is a good thing.
Yeah, Lily would, you know.
All right, I'm going to try this again. I'm going to read it.
How many dashes are there?
So far, none in the thing that I'm reading right now. Okay. While that might sound a little benign, comma, you must remember that Barkley only recently discovered racism after someone at TNT had the bright idea to let a man whose primary achievement in life was his uncanny ability to catch a basketball when someone else missed. There should be dashes here. When someone else missed, host a show about the intricacies of race in America. Unsurprisingly, Barkley, whose viewpoints consistently coincide with those of the oppressors of Black America, decided that the best way to solve the race problem in America was to make a space on his national platform for white supremacist Richard Spencer. What?
He had Spencer on.
Okay, this is news to me. Okay. But it was the second part of Barkley's comments on Thursday that really raised eyebrows and tightened anuses. Okay.
Ew.
This is Barkley speaking again. What we as black people need to do, we need to worry about getting our education. We need to stop killing each other. We need to try to find a way to have more economic opportunity and things like that. Those things are important and significant.
Why is that crazy?
I think that's completely reasonable for anybody, but sure. Okay. Back to the blog. Apparently, Barkley believes that black people aren't worried about getting our education. Have you seen the statistics of high school dropouts in this country? Oh, writer of this blog. Have you seen the percentage of black students that drop out of high school? Okay. He parrots the same perspective as white people who interrupt every black libertarian argument with, quote, but what about black on black crime? He obviously believes that black people miss out on economic opportunities because we are not in the club, quote, making it rain, unquote, or buying big rims for our shiny new cars.
That's not even close to what he said, you
What?
asshat.
Late whites.
Okay,
God
you would.
damn it.
Okay, I've used this phrase before. This guy is excellent at reading between the lines of a cookbook.
Thank you, Sanguine. How dare a black man not just blame white people? Yeah, exactly.
Here's an important piece of advice. Whenever anyone begins a sentence with, quote, what we as black people need to do is, ... stop listening immediately. What is sure to follow will either be, 1, a platitude you can get from any corner barbershop like, unite and trust in Jesus. 2, something very Hotep-ish that combines the wisdom of ancient Egypt with jailhouse logic. And 3, white people solutions.
White people solution. Educating yourself and not being a criminal is a white person solution. Go fuck yourself.
You've heard white people solutions before. Quote, white people solutions, unquote, are the Caucasian answers to all black problems. Quote, white people circulate their dollar 120,333 times in the white community before it leaves their neighborhood, unquote. I don't even know if that's true, but I've never heard that before.
I didn't either.
Quote, white people start reading to their kids when they are still a sperm, unquote.
Why is that a bad thing?
Quote, white people invest their money in stocks, pork futures, and private prisons, unquote.
Wait, back up. Who's reading to their dick?
No, it would be your balls, not your dick.
Okay, who's reading to their balls? Please stop that.
Well, yeah, I mean, don't read to your balls. They're not going to do much.
I think the point he's making, like, realistically, is that white people read to their kids when they're, like, a baby. He's like, why would you do that? It's like, you're supposed to do that. We know it's helpful.
Yes, and white people invest specifically in private prisons. Yes, I have so much stock in Folsom Prison, you wouldn't believe it. Anyway, quote, to be, sorry, this isn't a quote. I'm going back to the blog. That's why I said quote, because it's not me talking. To be clear, these aren't solutions for or by white people. But you just called them white people solutions. What? Okay.
You ain't swole enough to understand that.
Okay, I'm not. I gotta get more woke. I'm obviously not woke enough. Okay. Instead, they are the imaginings of black people who are white supremacists. What?
Thank you, Sanguine. I just put an audiobook on and let my sack listen.
All right, you need to take your headphones and smush them down to the tiniest, like if you had the tiniest head in the world, and put them on either side of your ball sack, and then play like Chaucer or something for the next hour.
Fuck?
I'm gonna read this again from the top because I just want to torture people, and I honestly want to try to understand if I can.
Next time you make a little like trailer. This. Especially the how to
audio books for your balls.
Yeah, audio books for your ball sack.
You know what company should produce those? Audible.com.
You're way too proud of that.
I really am. Okay. From the top.
Too much.
To be clear, these aren't solutions for or by white people. Instead, they are the imaginings of black people who are white supremacists. Black white supremacists believe that the only correct way to do things is how they envision the white man would do it. A black white supremacist could never find anything wrong with a white man's methodology, so he or she continually contorts him or herself to end up on the Caucasian side of the argument.
Okay.
I'm glad I'm recording this for posterity, just for the hell of it.
This makes my head hurt.
Well, see,
the root is the best argument for staying in school.
Okay, I won't go too much longer with this. We'll get the MSS news in a couple minutes, but I just want to get, because this is just amazing to me. Like it's a train wreck. And this is the difference between independent thinkers and black white supremacists. Most independent thinkers sometimes have legitimate disagreements with the accepted opinions of Black America, but Black white supremacists never find fault with white America, which means that everything ailing Black people is Black people's fault. For them, nothing, not even the monuments of white supremacy, is the fault of racism. We're just doing it wrong.
Can I point out something that they didn't mention that Barkley said?
Sure.
In that, he also made the statement that most Black people have never given those Confederate statues a moment's notice in their entire life. Never thought about them once until now. And I like how they left that part out. I've known lots of Black people. I used to go to an all-Black school except for my pasty white ass. I never heard anybody complain about statues. Not once. Because nobody gave a fuck.
Okay.
Well, nobody really gives a crap anymore. I mean...
Oh, yeah, they still don't.
Okay. I could explain to Barkley that a Black child is more likely to go to an underfunded school and how America spends $355 more per white student than it does on non-white students. I could point out that 84% of white people are killed by other white people, but no one ever mentions white-on-white crime.
Yes, they do, motherfucker. Look it up.
Do you look at... Have you watched any Dateline murder mystery show? White-on-white crime is what every fucking...
No, they have a...
Forensic Files, for God's sakes! Watch Forensic Files for 10 minutes. Jesus.
They don't actually use the term white-on-white enough. But if you look up white-on-white crime, it's actually a statistic out there. It's talked about quite a bit. Just nobody complains when we talk about it.
Yeah,
nobody goes,
the notion that white people
crime.
kill other white people is not... Oh, my God.
You know what?
Okay.
All groups are responsible for the majority of killing in their group because people tend to stick together.
Okay,
Asians kill
there's
more
one.
Asians.
Yes. If you have a beef, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be someone that you know, or someone within your community. And if if communities glom together by birds of a feather, amazingly enough, yeah, okay. Well, see, but the way he put that. 84% of white people are killed by other white people. 84% of white people are killed by... Do you mean 84% of white people who are killed by other white people? Because if 84% of white people are being killed by other white people, we're all dead. we're all dead.
That's a lot of dead honkies.
Jesus. All right, last paragraph. All right. Apparently, we don't focus enough on education and money like the smart, genius Caucasians do. So, that's why the statue shouldn't come down. Barkley answered a question about monuments to white supremacy by going into a rant about black-on-black crime and insinuating that it somehow had something to do with Black people being dumb and poor. I notice you're not quoting him at this point.
Oh,
you're just
no.
summarizing what you say he says. Because Barkley doesn't want to hear logic. He is a true believer in the infallibility and superiority of whiteness because Charles Barkley is a white supremacist. That's the last sentence in this blog. Charles Barkley is a white supremacist. I hope Charles Barkley sues the Root for slander or libel. Sorry, libel. Because, yeah. Okay.
Slanders out loud.
I have a solution.
Right.
I have a solution.
You do?
For the people at the Root, instead of thinking it as acting white, think about it as acting Asian. That might help.
Education and economy. Yes. These are things that are solely the realm of white people. No one else has ever benefited by focusing on education and economy in their lives. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. All right. Well, unless we have something else to discuss, I can jump into MSS News. And Jordan made an art thing of you and Lady Monkey.
Yeah.
I'm going to retweet that just because that's cute. Oh.
I don't have my Twitter open.
That's okay. You had something to say?
Let's do. Oh, that is so cute. No, I was gonna say we're only gonna have time for a couple of these because I do want to get to the Sargon thing. We've had people asking for that.
Yeah.
So let's do like two of them real quick. And
okay. Oh, here we go. This is something that I indulged in a couple times today, so I'll read this. This comes from Arby's Sandwich. That's their Twitter name. God. Arby's Sandwich. This is from Vox.com. Why that distracted boyfriend stock photo meme is suddenly everywhere. It's appealing because it's both extremely versatile and delightfully simple. Yes, that's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
And Vox wrote
Are we going to leave it there, or?
Well, no, there's a lot written here, but there's nothing else to say because that's all there is to it. And then they give a whole bunch of examples as though that's somehow journalism. Thank you, Vox. No, goodbye. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. Emperor Vulcan, thank you. So this is a supplement to a story I read just a little bit ago. The headline, this is from The Guardian. The headline says, Turd Reich. San Francisco dog owners lay minefield of poo for right-wing rally.
How classy.
Quote, I just had this image of alt-right people stomping around in the poop, says the organizer of an unusual protest ahead of Saturday's Patriot Prayer rally, which has now since been canceled, of course. Okay, well, there's not much to say. I'm trying to squeeze in a couple of these.
Now the park is just covered in dog shit.
Yeah, which of course is bad for the environment and lawn and everything else. But sure,
Good job, guys.
Yeah, the alt-right people.
That is why would you? Okay.
Because they're children. They are children, and they don't understand how free speech works.
Corn.
Let's see. Okay, one more, because this goes back to something a lot of us, I think, know about. Do you recall the teacher who was on trial for punching a neo-Nazi a few months ago? I think she was on like Tucker Carlson or something.
Definitely, maybe.
Okay. Teacher accused. Oh, sorry. This also comes from. Make sure I give credit where credit is due. This comes from New Fate 26. Teacher accused of punching neo-Nazi says standing up to fascism isn't a crime. We have the right to defend ourselves, Yvette Falarka told the court. A middle school teacher in Berkeley, California, accused of punching a neo-Nazi during a 2016 protest, is arguing that standing up to fascism is not a crime. Yvette Falarka, 47, was arrested last month for her involvement in a June 2016 anti-fascist demonstration held in Sacramento. Falarka, who is a member of an activist group called By Any Means Necessary, BAM, has been charged with felony assault as well as two misdemeanor counts of inciting and participating in a riot. Footage of the demonstration appears to show Falarka repeatedly punching a member of the Traditionalist Worker Party, a white nationalist group described as, quote, a front for neo-Nazi sympathizers. The taller man is holding up his hands while trying to get police officers to help. Other protesters drag the man to the ground before the police intervene. At her arraignment last week, Falarka told the court that the charges against her are false and should be dropped. Quote, standing up against fascism and the rise of Nazism and fascism in this country is not a crime, she said. We have the right to defend ourselves. Back in 2016, Falarka told reporters that the goal of the demonstration was to, quote, shut down the Nazi scum. They are organizing to attack and kill us, she said at the time. So we have a right to self-defense. That is why we have to shut them down by any means necessary.
No, you don't. Yeah. You don't have the right to hit people who have not assaulted you, you stupid cunt.
Yeah, no, you don't. Yeah. Words are not an attack. Your feelings are not your body.
Here's the thing. We've already seen these assholes attack people wrongfully. So by their own logic, we can punch any of them that we want in self-defense preemptively.
Which is
that's
stupid.
How this fucking idiocy works. Oh, I fucking hate people. I really fucking hate people.
All right. Well, YouTube time.
Yes.
Yeah, YouTube time.
STA, what'd you do today? Or what didn't you do today?
What?
Patreon stream.
What did I do today? Oh, yeah, I know. because Jinx, so I didn't have my Patreon stream. What did I do today? I don't even remember what I did today. Why am I so fucking stupid today?
Why are you drinking so much, I guess is the question.
Are you
I'm
pregnant?
not. Like, I'm just...
Pregnancy brain?
What?
Are you pregnant?
No.
How do you know?
I mean, unless it's Jesus, no.
Jesus? Wait, Jesus?
She's rich. She's got a gardener, so that's a Mexican.
Yep. Yeah, Jesus.
I'm definitely not pregnant. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just...
That's what all pregnant people say. I think you need to go to a group.
Yep.
Yep. You just need to admit it. You need first step is to admit you have a pregnancy.
I'm not pregnant. I promise I'm not pregnant.
Every time you say it, it grows another cell.
Have you sat on any public toilet seats recently?
No.
Was anybody in between you and the public toilet seat?
Oh my god, you guys are gross.
Scribbles, what'd you do today?
I am still in somewhat of a slump in finding something to do a video on. However, I found something and I thought I should work on this. But then I thought, no, it's about Islam and women. So I passed it on to Base Mama to take a look because she is much more versed in that experience than I am.
Right.
And I defer to her greater wisdom.
For those of you who don't know, that's Base Mama used to be Muslim.
Yes, she used to be as a Muslim woman in a Muslim relationship and had all types of interesting experiences. And it was a creepy little video from Islamic Pulse. It had this happy piano music. It was only about a minute and a half long, but it listed off all of these traditional roles for women in a Islamic marriage, and it was so sugar-coated. And what wasn't said versus what was, it was really creepy. Mm. I could have said something, but again, I thought, no, this is more in Base Mama's wheelhouse, so I sent it off to her. But in a similar vein, I'm still working on how I'm going to approach this video. I found a video from Slate. I never looked at Slate before, but it came across my feed for some reason today. And they just did a video where someone is going around... The premise, as far as I can tell, because it's confusing, the premise is that you can't make fun or mock Islam, that it's dangerous to do so. And I'm like, yes. And then he shows all these examples like Charlie Hebdo and all these other things. I'm like, okay. And then he says, but these Muslim comedians are challenging that notion. I'm like, what? And then he goes to a comedy club in New York where they have a Muslim comedian night with an audience that is made up primarily of other Muslims, and they tell jokes about Islam. And I'm sitting there going like, okay, take that act to Riyadh. Take that act to Tehran. Okay? Or, conversely, how about have a Muslim comedy night where you have white Christians telling Muslim jokes or Islam jokes? What are you talking? It's the weirdest. It goes back and forth. Like he almost disproves his own claim multiple times in the thing. So I'm not quite sure. But I'm looking at it. I might do it. I'm probably going to cut out the comedy bits because they're irrelevant to the argument. But otherwise, yeah, I'm in kind of a weird. Nothing's jumping out at me lately. I've watched tons of videos this last week, and aside from the one I did earlier in the week, nothing's grabbed my brain. It's kind of disconcerting. A lot of stuff's been going on. A lot of stuff's been being able to see, but just, yeah. Anyway, I'm done.
I have about 3 different ideas I want to do videos on. I haven't had time to. Well, I've had time, very little, but I haven't had the ability to speak much this week. So hopefully those will be starting to come back out because I have. Hopefully those will be starting. That was a shitty sentence. You should have yelled at me for that one. Hopefully I'll start producing content again here real soon because I'm jonesing to make a video.
Yeah, look, Spunky, you didn't ask if hurricanes were bad for you, so don't worry.
So are you going to do a... Oh, sorry, you have a super chat real quick.
Thank you, Jim O'Donnell. Suggestion: replace puppies with alligators in safe spaces. Problem solved plus teachable moment. That's actually a good idea.
I was going to say, I think you should do your best Steve Irwin accent and tell us the great hunting story of you versus the bat.
Oh, that bat was asking for it. He was actually doing flybys.
Hey.
What?
Nobody is ever asking for it.
You didn't see what he was wearing. He was naked.
I was sitting peacefully at my desk, and all of a sudden, a flapping sound appeared behind me. I looked, and it was a deadly vampire bat.
If you guys haven't, you should go back and listen to that moment on the stream.
God, it's
Oh
amazing.
my god, it was so funny.
It was
My
so
mom was
loud.
listening to it too.
Yeah, I heard it too. I remember hearing it. And I was like, "What the hell is that?" Because I thought, I don't know. I thought maybe it was. I've heard crickets in the background of your broadcasting before, and I heard that flapping. Like, there's a bat in here, and you could hear it. And I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, he was big too. He was bigger than I thought he was. Anyway, let's get on to Sargon. People keep asking about that. So,
Yes.
for those of you who don't know, Sargon has been sued for copyright infringement by Aquila. Is that you say name? Aquila Hughes.
I believe so.
And it all stems from a video she did at right after the election called "We Thought She Was Going to Win" or some stupid shit like that. What Sargon did is he took that video. It was a 9-minute video. He cut it down to about I think it was 1.5 minutes, and reposted it with no comment. And she's suing him for copyright infringement. And there's a lot of people out there who are saying it's obvious satire. That's a hard call to make. He didn't do anything that transformative, in my opinion. I've seen him do things like this in the past, and I've been like, that's dodgy.
You pushing it?
So yeah, I don't see how he wins this one. I really don't. People say, so it was transformative. Think of it this way. If somebody takes a movie and cuts it down into a trailer, you didn't transform it. It's still the same movie. It's the same content. There's nothing transformative about doing that. You have to do something that alters it in a meaningful way.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think he accomplished that with this video. I really don't. I mean, he didn't even do anything, like where you'll take a clip of somebody and you'll just replay it, slowing it down to emphasize the point. He just cut it up into smaller pieces. It's reported she's asking for $150K total between the different kinds of damages. Whether she gets that or not, it's going to be up to a jury if this goes that far. I watched Mundane Matt's view on this, and I actually agree with him. If I was Sargon, I find a way to settle this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah, if that's the case.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who've compared it to H3H3 because they just won their lawsuit against, oh God, what's that asshole's name?
I don't remember.
Oh fuck, I can't remember it. But they'd been sued and they won their lawsuit because their video was a commentary. They didn't just play his video. They played it and laughed at it and pointed out how fucking stupid it was. So they won. Because it was more than just replaying his video. And Sargon, I'm not a lawyer, but just in my opinion, from what I have seen, he doesn't have a win here. He really doesn't.
Well, when I initially heard it, I was like, oh, well, it's a response video, right?
Real quick, sorry to interrupt. The Eye of the Storm has hit Corpus Christi.
Oh dear God, guys, stay safe out there.
Just a little bit north of Corpus Christi, but yeah, they got the track right now has the eye wall just hitting the coast, and it's just going to sit there. And yeah, it looks like it's moving straight inland. Oh man. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah. No, sorry to interrupt, but that just happened. Okay. That just happened in the last 30 minutes or so.
Shit, what was I saying? Oh yeah, when I first saw it, because I assumed that it was a response video thing, I was like, oh, well, he's got nothing to worry about, because I didn't actually know what they were talking about. But knowing that, I'm like, yeah, I would be worried. I would settle it if I were him.
Yeah, that's the smart move. The judge in the H3H3 case was very specific about their ruling, and it came down to the fact that it was more than just re-uploading stuff. And you have to be careful with that, guys. Fair use is hard enough to navigate, even if you know kind of what you're doing there. Mr. Monkey Lint, Mr. Monkey Lint, the H3H3 decision, however, shows precedent. It does, but this isn't the same.
Yeah.
If it were the same, yeah, because that's what I said. But if it were the exact same thing, that would absolutely count.
Sorry, again, Captain Assassin just said, Ranting Monkey, my power just went out. Don't know how long my iPad will last, but I'm still here for now. Dude, stay safe, man.
Dude, turn off your power until you need it.
Yeah, seriously, the battery.
I love you. I'm glad you're here, but save your fucking battery, man.
Yeah.
It would set
Take care of yourself and let us know after the storm that you're okay, but turn that shit off and use it when you need it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It would certainly set precedent if, you know, if this was the same thing, but
no,
it's not. So
yeah. This is why, like, even though, like, I all the videos that I do, all the footage that I use from someone else, I shrink it down. I put it inside a frame. You can tell it's not the original source. You know, you always you intercut with comments as often as you can. And when there's something in the video that is unnecessary to your deal, you just chop it all out. And, you know, you have to make it obviously not the original product, along with your commentary and everything else that's obvious. You put in there at the front that this is you know, you got your little FBI warning or whatever. You got a little introduction thing. You intersperse your own commentary often and not let it play too long. I mean, someone could make an argument otherwise, but if it's obviously not the source video, you're better off, especially with the H3H3 thing now. Thankfully, that happened. I mean, it might not help Sargon in this case, but truthfully speaking, that being ruled the way it was is a godsend for so many people that make content on YouTube or any other place. So,
sure.
yeah, Sargon might have, you know, not, it won't benefit from this more likely than not, but a lot of us will. You know, we have a lot more cover now, and it's legal precedent that we do.
Well, we'll benefit from it in different, like, you know, if we end up in the same position, but you have to actually be, you know, in the same position.
Silent Minority says Sargon will win. His video is not a marketable equivalent. It doesn't have to be marketable. Fair use is not a matter of marketability. You cannot take somebody else's copyrighted work, whether you make money off of it or not. You cannot do that. You can, if you're doing it for fair use reasons and they are very specifically listed, that's fine. Most of the videos Sargon does are fine.
Yeah. This
one is, in, again, just my opinion, and going by other copyright cases, this is not. If you look at cases like there's paintings that have been done where people have just changed the color, that doesn't count. It's transformative, but it's not enough because all you're doing is recoloring it.
Yeah, it's generally like 50%. Because I took AP Art in high school, and we could sample from other stuff or use parts of it, but 50% had to be completely original. So we usually just didn't even go there because, you know, if whoever determines all that decides that it's not 50%, then you're screwed anyway. So yeah, it's tricky, which is why response videos are it's easy because obviously you're interspersing this with your commentary, and it is pretty and it is transformative, so it's fine.
Jim Healis says Sargon's video changed the original message. You cannot mistake his video for being hers. That's going to be for a jury to decide. We just read a story where Charles Barkley was called a white supremacist, so anything can happen in this world. So maybe it'll be seen that way. That's where it stands now. This just broke earlier today, so it hasn't been responded to legally. It was filed in the U.S. I'm not sure what district it was filed in, though.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how this develops and what he decides to do and all that.
I get what he was going for, and it's something I've thought about doing myself, but you got to be careful with copyright, really do. Make sure you put something in there of your own.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm actually, I mean, sucks to be Sargon, but pragmatically speaking, I'm glad this happened because it, whichever way it goes, well, as long as it's not settled out of court, if there's actually a decision, again, this establishes guidelines by which we know where we can move within. H3 set one side of the boundaries. This will test another. And so if it goes to court, if there's a decision, then in the future, people that do stuff like we do will have a better idea of what is the safe zone in which to operate, that we have, that we know we're working in safe territory, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Hunter just joined the chat and asked what was going on. Sargon's being sued for copyright infringement. He took a video of somebody else's, cut a bunch of it out to try to make it seem like she was contradicting herself. I haven't seen the actual video to know if she did, but she's suing him for infringement because all he used was her footage.
Yeah.
Her name is Akilah Hughes, Akilah, I believe is how it's spelled. So yeah, if you want a good take or a good take on it, look up Leonard French. He's a lawyer who does videos here. He did an 1.5-hour live stream on it earlier.
Oh. Okay. When we're done with this, briefly, I have something that I saw earlier today that someone just tweeted me and reminded me of, and I want to read it out loud.
Oh, okay. What was the actual harm to Akilah? Her claim is that this was on track to be her biggest video ever. It stands right now with 24,000 views, I think is the last I saw on it. She has like 190,000 or something like that followers. She has a ton of followers, but yeah, she gets a good video for her is 24,000. So it's an ugly case. I still think at this point she's going to win based on current laws that I've seen.
I mean, either that or they just settle, which again is probably for him anyway the better option.
Well, one of the things that Mundane Matt argued about that is even if he thinks he's going to win, the cost of going through it all is going to be tremendous. And he would raise the money easily. He's Sargon, so of course he will.
I think the link to the video, Fernanda has posted it in the chat.
Oh.
I'll repost it. Oh, deleted by Lady Monkey. Oh.
Why did you delete that?
I don't think it's bad. It's just the. Oh, well, the link is broken too, but I don't think that was the reason why. Try it again. Nope. All right, Fernanda, I tried it, but apparently it's just a broken link. Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
What?
Oh, Monkey muted himself. Monkey, do you know that you've muted yourself?
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you, Kagamandoa. I'm drunk. Take my money. I appreciate that.
Look, I might be stupid, but I'm not drunk, okay? Even though I asked how if a hurricane is bad for you.
Before we forget again, Jim Jones.
No, Monkey Dick Jim Jones.
Jim Jones. Yeah. I just read Jim Jones there, so. Oh, that's another interesting thing. With Sargon, they had the issue with Destiny. Destiny had threatened to sue also over a very similar issue. And the lawyer that offered to represent Sargon is actually the one working for Akilah in this case.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Well, maybe not the exact same lawyer. The same law firm is representing him.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's going to be we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all I had on that. I like I said, there's not much else to talk about right now because it just happened today.
Well, before we get into something else, this is just a funny, weird thing that happened today. I guess this is new. And who sent this to me again? This was Harvos Marvos. I saw this earlier today. BBC News has started a new sub-site called Pidgin, Pidgin. And here's the headlines. And this is real. I'm going to read them as they're written. This one in particular. Indian woman divorce husband because dem no get toilet.
I'm sorry, what?
Indian woman divorce husband because dem no get toilet. Other such headlines read, no monitor social media, Nigerians tell military. Angola day set for new president. BBC Pigeon nah for all of us, Toyin.
Yes.
I'm going to read a little bit of the article from this divorce thing. The woman way day for her 20s dawn day married to her husband for 5 years, but nah for inside bush she day popo. Indian law day only allow divorce for limited circumstances like beating or wicked behavior. It's just the lawyer for the woman tell AFP news agency say the judge say today make the woman poo poo for outside now one form of torture. Okay, I'm done. I can't.
Thank you, Jim O'Donnell. I had a video demonetized because I used music to enhance a joke. Never heard from Cake, rookie mistake, but only monetized to see the feature. Be careful using any music because that happens a lot. You can typically actually win that kind of case. We just had the Supreme Court refused to overturn a Ninth Circuit ruling on that, which would likely stand in your favor, but it'd be a big pain in the ass for you.
Okay, the video that Sargon's in trouble for, I'm putting the link in the chat. Try that.
I did want to mention two more things. Somebody said that Christy Winters did the same thing to Bering today, and Bering got her to take the video down.
Mm-hmm.
I know nothing of it, so I can't comment on that. But one of the things Sargon did is the video was taken down, and instead of just leaving it down, he reposted it on Twitter and then again on Minds.
Mm-hmm.
So if he had just
I'm not saying
left it
that's
alone,
stupid, but
it is stupid. It's there's no reason at all.
yeah, no, I agree.
I'm all for, you guys know me, free speech and all that, but why? This isn't even a free speech matter. This is you taking somebody. All you had to do is re-edit it.
Yeah.
Throw in some actual commentary. Then I'd have no fucking problem. But all you're doing is using their fucking words. This would be no different than taking a movie and cutting it up so it looks a little different. You're going to lose that case. Even if you make it sound completely different because you are using other people's artwork. It's somebody else's copyrighted material. And I don't mean to say that as though I know what's going on, but I don't see him winning this. I really don't.
No, it's stupid for you to poke that bear. Like, you're in the you're not clearly in the right or wrong in this situation. Like, you're probably in the wrong, but there is some gray area.
Well, again, if you take a movie, let's say there's a 90-minute movie, and you just completely rearrange the whole thing so it's just a jumbled mess that is entirely different than it used to be, you are not going to win that case. That is not transformative artwork. It's not.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there.
Alex asked how long me and the lady have been together. God, 26 years total? Well, more than half my life.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time.
I'd already been married 4 years when you were born, woman.
Yeah, so have my parents.
No, that's not true. It was only 3 years at that point, but not long after. Snubber, thank you. Poke the bearing, SDA.
Yeah, exactly. Don't do that. It's a bad idea, in my opinion. I just think it's silly.
Backscan, both of them will end up with more subs in the end. I think she will. I don't think it's going to help Sargon grow at all.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well.
Okay, I just watched the video that Sargon's in trouble for. If I hadn't been told that Sargon put this together as an edit of something else, I would have no idea it's a Sargon video. It looks like something coming straight from this person. It looks like a video. It looks like a vlog post. And yeah, that is not transformative. I can't tell that that's something. There's no commentary. There's no satire. There's no logo. There's no alteration of the size of the video or something. Yeah, that's I wouldn't know that you weren't just mirroring that from someplace else.
Yeah, and that's what's going to get him in trouble.
Yeah.
If he gets any decent lawyer, I guarantee they'll tell him to just settle this shit.
Yeah.
Faith wants to know if you think it made her look like an idiot.
So just as a quick summary, so it shows a clip of her having been reporting live from the Javits Center during the lead up to Hillary's eventual loss. But of course, at the time, they thought that she was going to win. And then it cuts to sort of her from, I guess, some time later, looking back on the events and sort of reminiscing in a melancholy way about, you know, what was hoped for versus what happened and how she interprets the election and everything else. I mean, there's some rhetoric there that is, you know, decidedly left-leaning, etc. But aside from just showing her political leanings, I didn't see anything that was nothing struck me as like, oh, this makes her an idiot or something. But like, here's the thing: even if it did, that's just my opinion of the raw footage from her own production. There's nothing there that guides me through satire or commentary. So, yeah, it was a minute 58 of just somebody talking.
Another thing, there are unnamed defendants in this where she doesn't have the names. I don't know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who else mirrored his video.
Right.
Tim O'Donnell, thank you. Where's the case being heard? Jurisdictions differ.
It's in the U.S., correct?
Yeah, it was filed in the U.S. Somebody in chat said that if it's an international case, it's tried under California rules, but I don't know that for sure.
I'll see if I can find out.
I would, if you are interested in this, I would keep an eye on Leonard French. He did a really good job covering the H3 trial throughout. He did the same for the Bible Reloaded, and they ended up settling theirs. Yeah, I would keep an eye on
What happened
them.
with the Bible Reloaded? There
was a guy at a specific company who kept filing DMCA claims against them, false ones.
Mm-hmm.
So they sued his ass. Well, they sued the company, and they ended up settling out of court with them because it wasn't the company. It was just one asshole who worked for them who had a bug up his ass.
Yeah. I watched a lot on that. It was they were reviewing movies, but they were using they weren't even using like footage from the movie at a certain point. They were just using like stand-in stills to describe the story as they critiqued it. It was sort of like what Monkey and I do with the movie reviews we do.
Yeah. No, I've seen their movie reviews.
Yeah, and so
somebody in chat might not have, so I'm just being
stupid. Yeah, so in particular, the videos that they were being copyright claimed on literally contained nothing of their work. And so these DMCAs were filed under false pretense, which is a violation, etc. And so, yeah, it was this one guy that was just harassing the hell out of them. And yeah, I'm trying to find out if there's info on where this was filed. I would assume district court if it's international or something else. So
Lama Dungeon said Southern District of New York.
Southern District of New York. Okay.
Black Romeo asks, if somebody chopped up a video you posted condemning neo-Nazis to have you say, I agree with Nazi ideology, would that be transformative? Genuine question. It would be slander.
Absolutely. Yeah, that would be slander. So, like, yes, it's transformative, but also don't do that.
Mm-hmm. Sanguine, thank you. Also, one of the hits they got was on their video talking about the hit. Oh, yeah, it was. Talking about the Bible Reloaded.
Oh, okay. I was like,
if you guys haven't followed that, you guys should go back and watch it. It was such a shitstorm.
Southern District of New York. Okay.
Like I said, Leonard French has all of that, I know, in his live stream, but I was trying to watch it on the way home from dinner earlier, and I missed a whole bunch of it.
What's her name again?
Akila, Akillah Hughes.
Okay, that's Hughes with a E.
I believe so.
Okay, let me see if I can.
Sorry, that just went from yes to maybe.
Well, I spent so much time trying to remember how to spell her first name. I didn't pay attention to her last name.
You're like, yeah.
She runs a YouTube channel. I believe it's called Akila, obviously, or I forget the exact name of that too. Like I said, I've never heard of this woman before now. And I missed all of the drama when this happened, because this actually blew up a little bit on Twitter when it happened, because Sargon gave her shit for doing the takedown.
Let's see. I might be able to get the case summary here. Hold on. Just for fun. Maybe I'll let you know.
Okay.
Academic Cub says Bering had a few cases of creative editing, but they got ugly. But all the videos were eventually pulled. I don't remember Bering doing anything just like this. I've never seen anybody else do it exactly like this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he didn't even have an opening on it. Nothing. It was just the video.
Yeah, that was just stupid on his part.
Mega Monster says, even if he loses, you can't punish with excessive fines. Yeah, but excessive is not defined by you or me.
Okay. You guys want to hear the legal filing a little bit?
If you can do, I saw the filing. It's long and
it is, yeah.
If you want to pull a tasty morsel or two.
Well, let's see. Jurisdiction of parties. Okay, factual allegations. We'll just scroll down to the actual allegations. Hughes is a popular content creator and filmmaker who publishes video content on the internet via her website located at blah, blah, and YouTube channel. Hughes has received training as a comedian and writer from the world-renowned Upright Citizens Brigade. Ooh. She has also received many accolades as a social influencer with her... Okay, stop jerking yourself off.
Social influencer. Is there a more self-aggrandizing title?
Yeah.
I am a social influencer.
All right, let me scroll down to where she actually mentions... Okay, on November 18th, 2016, Hughes published, quote, "We thought she would win," unquote, for streaming and download on YouTube. Hughes is the sole owner of the copyright and all other rights in and to the copyrighted work, which has been registered with the United States Copyright Office. The copyrighted work received immediate praise for its raw emotion and political commentary. On or about November 19th, 2016, Hughes became aware that defendants had copied and uploaded an unauthorized 1-minute, 28-second series of clips from the copyrighted work onto Benjamin's YouTube channel, titling the unauthorized reproduction of the work SJW Levels of Awareness. The SJW designation, we know. The infringing work provides no additional content, commentary, or criticism of the copyrighted work, its contents, or Hughes, and contains no additional expression whatsoever. It is a bare, retitled compilation of clips of the copyrighted work. Defendants include no original content in the infringing work, and that's underlined. Simply put, defendants merely downloaded, copied, and re-uploaded substantial portions of the copyrighted work without the authorization of the copyright holder, Hughes. Defendants' unauthorized copying, reproduction, distribution, and display of portions of the copyrighted work constitute a blatant and willful copyright infringement. Yeah.
Yeah, and I generally give people benefit of the doubt on this, but there's literally nothing else to it.
Yeah, it goes at length here. I'm just scrolling down a little bit. And then they talk about the controversial nature of Sargon, etc., which, whatever. Yeah.
Real quick, your boy Pat asks, had this not been Sargon, would this woman even be doing this? Maybe not. That could be part of it. I mean, he's big enough to actually go after.
I mean, he's got a bigger subscriber count than she does, so technically more people would see her through him than her site, and she would. Yeah, I mean, that's yeah.
Somebody asked when Sargon uploaded his video. He did it on November 19th.
Yeah, November 19th of 2016. What else? Anything else? Yeah, they got a screenshot of his tweet contesting her claim on him, saying, "This is my video is a satire of you." But
Stargazer Knights asked, "Does it seem to anyone else like she waited until the H3 case was done to see where that went, or am I making this up?"
You might be.
She might have waited, and because of the way the judge specifically ruled that case, decided to go ahead with this one, because there was very specific reasoning for why H3 was deemed not to have done anything wrong.
Yeah, which is completely legit. So, I mean, why set up the process of suing somebody if you're going to find out 2 minutes later that you have no case based on precedent, or that your opponent would have a strong argument against you with the precedent set? So,
yeah, and I'm going to get in trouble again because I'm saying Sargon's probably in the wrong here, but I believe he is based on what I know, and I don't take my word for it. Go watch Leonard French. He's a copyright lawyer, and he doesn't know either of the parties involved. From the way he spoke in his video, he didn't even know their names. So he's not going to give you, it's not a biased opinion. And if I'm Sargon and I'm listening to him, I'm settling as fast as I can.
Well, anyway, we're coming up on chat time if you want to go there.
Yeah, let's go ahead and turn it over to chat, guys.
Let me get the latest on the hurricane real quick, just in case there's something new going on. Oh, CNN still cares more about Arpaio's pardon than they do the hurricane that's bearing down on Texas right now. Let's see, anything new? Well, the latest satellite shows, yeah, the storm wall is north of Corpus Christi. It's hard to tell right now. Anyway, anyway. That's nothing significant more has happened, although I'm sure it's chaos down there right now.
SJ Jar Jar Binks said, "I'm subscribed to Leonard, and even he said that Sargon should settle." Yeah. X Fireball asked if I'm getting Wolfenstein 2. No, I'm not much into shooters anymore. Jim O'Donnell, I don't know how YouTube money works, but isn't it likely she's getting more views than she would and more money? Yeah, but it doesn't matter to the case at hand.
Right.
I mean, even so, like, let's say that somebody is, like, in this case, actually, somebody is actually, I guess, like, infringing on copyright. It doesn't really matter that you're going to get more channel views because that person's infringing on your copyright. They're still doing it.
Yeah.
So whether that's good for you or not it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Small channels have just as much right to defend their work as larger channels do.
Adam R says, "I don't get it though. He pretty much just mirrored the video, free as advertisement." I say, well, if you want to advertise somebody, talk to them or do just a little bit and say, "Hey guys, go check this out," so they get the views instead of you getting the views for their work.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't the same thing.
Yeah, this was not an advertisement. This wasn't a shout out. This was a reproduction of someone else's work without any original content put in.
Doubting Tommy says, "I just want to say thank you for not jumping on the Buttercup bandwagon like a few others have done." Ranting Monkey. Yeah, it's not really my style.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I was kind of on his side, and then I was like, oh, right. Okay, never mind.
Got it.
Yeah.
Jack Cochran says, "Can I have Roaming Millennial's phone number? Not for anything weird, just heavy breathing." I don't have her phone number, and I wouldn't give it. Jack, I love you, but I would not give you her phone number if I had it.
Oh, speaking of games, people talking there. So there's a sale going on Steam right now for the weekend.
Oh,
and it's the QuakeCon sale. So a whole bunch of like big stuff is like 50% to 75% off. So the Elder Scrolls Online is down to $30 at present.
oh, that's not bad.
The gold edition, like the super duper gold edition. I've asked this before. Does anybody have an opinion on whether or not it's worth it? Because it is an MMO. It's not a paid MMO, subscription based. All the same, I'm kind of wary of MMOs in general, but I do like the Elder Scrolls. So, Base Mama says, "Monkey, I'm suing you for lost token revenue."
And I said, "Fight me, mama."
Well, she's got some armor on her in the way of padding.
She beat my ass. I'm crippled.
Yeah.
I got my ass whipped by a bat. It never.
Well,
even
you
touched
broke its spine. I think you beat it.
I think it still got me. It got me.
Shady Grin says, "Guys, it's always nice listening to you, but my sleep deprivation is caught up with me. Good night. Don't let the bats bite." Night, night, Shady Grin.
Night, Shady. Any other questions, guys? Questions, comments, concerns?
Irie Prostate says, "Scribelight, anything Lovecraft influence on Steam? You mean aside from the fact that there are elder gods and things in the Elder Scrolls that are decidedly Lovecraftian, like Hermaeus Mora?" Yes.
Lucky Seven, do you guys ever worry about getting sued, and what would you do if you were? Not really, because I do try to go out of my way not to break the rules.
Yeah.
Even my
Yes.
Adam Ruins Everything video, I'm still waiting for that to get monetized because
Me
those
too.
assholes, they claimed it, and what they're going to do is they have 30 days to respond, and if they don't respond in 30 days, it just drops off automatically, and that's what's going to happen because they're dickholes. They know they don't have a claim. So
But on the
that.
bright side, now that they just kind of pull the money and wait, you're not like, they don't get all your money. Like that used to be what happened, which was the worst, but now that's not what happens. So I don't even worry about it anymore when that happens.
Yeah, I do. Even though I don't monetize most of my stuff, I do everything I can to show this is a transformation of whatever I'm using. You know, it's I shrink the image, I put in something else, I comment often. My older videos, there's a couple that probably ride the line depending on how long I wait to say something, but the majority of everything before and since has been decided. Yeah, I mean, it's identifiably not the original, or it's not the whole thing.
Lady Monkey asked if we said the magic words. Yes, I fucked it up when we started, or when I started them, but we did get them right. X Fireball asks our favorite fast food. I'm going with Taco Bell tonight. My answer to that changes.
Definitely Taco Bell.
Jack in the Box double cheeseburger.
Base Mama says she'll fight me. We're gonna have a diaper duel at dawn.
Ew. Agent Smith says, "Is it terrible that I've never watched Scribe's channel before?" I don't know.
Yes.
I don't
Get
know.
over there and watch. Subscribe.
Meh.
Speaking of which, I don't know if you guys mentioned it last night, but you hit 2,000 subscribers. Congratulations.
Yes,
We
that
did
happened.
mention it last night.
Yeah, that happened last night during the stream, and I'm flattered and very appreciative of everybody that has subscribed and everybody that comments and pays attention to that stuff. And I have some of the most thoughtful commenters and viewers I think a YouTuber could ask for, because more often than not, my viewers come up with things that either I didn't notice in the course of the video, or insight into situations that I have no idea of because they're in the professional realm that somehow intersects, no pun intended, with the subject I'm working on. I'm going to do something for the 2000 thing. I might just do a impromptu fan appreciation stream or something in the next day or two, just to celebrate that. I'll try to give some heads up when I decide to do that. But yeah, thank you, everyone.
Do you think there's a war against men? Because seriously, there's some bimbo in Australia trying to change the name of Father's Day. This comes from Red the Z. Yes, there's absolutely a war against men. I don't think most people who are pushing it even realize that's what they're doing. But there's definitely a war against masculinity. Being too masculine is toxic. And anything men do that they get enjoyment out of, women have to come along and tell us that it's not good. It's bad. We shouldn't enjoy that.
The next 6 minutes says, "What was our first CD purchase?"
My
Well, I
first-
bought a certificate of deposit at the age of 15 at a 6% return. Oh no.
You're an ass.
You are an ass.
My first CD was Porno for Pyros.
Are you ready for this?
Sure.
My first CD purchase was
Yes.
the Batman soundtrack from the 1989 Batman.
Nice.
Oh, mine was.
I still have it.
Mine was Britney. Mine was a Britney Spears CD.
Of course.
I like
What?
Britney Spears.
I like
She used
Britney
to be
Spears.
slutty. And then she went crazy.
Because you know that I'm toxic.
That's not her best one, but it's a good one.
I don't know. It's the one that came to mind. Yes, Perry Farrell. Well, I was a big fan of Jane's Addiction on the radio, and so when he did his side project, Porno for Pyros, it's a great album. Pets is a great song. There's a lot of good songs on there.
Base Mama says she has to drive to a meetup. I thought she wanted to stream with you.
Now, what kind of meetup? Who are you going to go see, Mama?
Don't get pregnant.
Again.
God, you guys.
Jacob Jet asks, any of you guys hate it when someone you're a fan of does something wrong, referring to Sargon?
Not really.
It depends on what it is. I mean, I could be disappointed in someone that I respect. Like, if somebody does something that seems counterintuitive to what I imagine their temperament is, I can be disappointed, but it doesn't, like, upset me, because after all these years, I've learned that all of my heroes are as human as I am.
Well, that's just it. It's like they're not perfect beings. Like they're human is what they are. And I think maybe some people get into the habit of hero worship.
Bloodwing says my first LP was the first Aerosmith album.
Wow.
LP. Most of the people here don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Do you know what an LP is, SDA? Or do you know what LP stands for?
Yeah, that's a no.
No.
Okay. It's long play. But
Long play.
It refers to a record. Like
a big
full-size-
record.
full-size
78.
A 78.
Well, I know what I know what that is.
Well, yeah,
How
I was
about
just
long play.
pointing out that the old man here is using lingo the kids aren't going to get.
That's right.
Tell it. What was your first 8-track, Bloodwing? I know you still got it.
Oh man, 8-track. 8-track is just old enough to be older than my conscious time for the most part.
Mm.
But Betamax, certainly laser discs. Oh, for God's sakes, what else? Yeah, anyway. Old formats, long gone. On cassette tapes, of course.
Rule of thumb: never get your politics from celebrities. That's yeah.
Let's see.
Hipsters my age would know LP before they know CD, says Zenith. Probably, yeah, I guess.
Probably, yeah, you're probably right.
But see, I still think they would call them an album.
Oh, I had to describe to somebody once, because I worked at a video store years and years ago, and someone came up, because we rented laser discs as well as DVDs at that point, and someone who was far too young to understand what was going on, they picked up one of the laser discs and said, "What's this?" And I says, "Well, it's a laser disc." And they're like, "What's that?" "It's a really big DVD." Oh.
Alex asked David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar. I like both, actually.
Depends on the song, but lean more towards David Lee for the classic stuff.
Pound
Cake's a great song, though.
When Jump starts, when that keyboard kicks into, yeah.
Oh, and Dancing the Night Away. I love that song. Oh, and Panama and Dancing the Night Away.
Excellent. Oh
Panama's so good. So good. Or Hit the Ground Running.
Down and 1984 were both excellent albums.
Yeah.
But I liked 5150 too. So
Hit the Ground Running's a great song too. There's so many. There's more David Lee Roth awesome songs in my head at command than Sammy Hagar. So, just by default, David Lee Roth.
And for those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, that's all Van Halen stuff.
Yeah, old Van Halen.
I'm looking for question marks. I'm not seeing any.
Yeah, guys, you have to throw the question marks in there. We're blind. We can't tell.
Serious question. Have you ever used a rotary phone, or do you think you could SDA?
I have never personally used one. As far
Holy
as I know,
cats.
I know how to.
Thank you, Jim O'Donnell. Happy anniversary, Monkey, and thanks for your content. Let me pick up a decent bottle of wine. Please add a link to your guest so I can subscribe. He's great. My first LP was Deep Purple in Japan. LPs are 33, not 78. Oh. I swear they were 78s. Okay.
We're guests.
Wait,
now.
just
Wait.
just the one, just the male. Ouch.
How do you know he didn't mean you?
Because he said he's great.
Oh, good catch.
I'm the guest.
The links to both of my guests are in the description. That would be Scribelight and SDA.
Technically, we are on your channel, so in a way, we are the guests in your house. So, okay, legit. All right.
Wait, real quick. Let's clear that up. They're not guests. These are my co-hosts. We rotate on each other's channels each night. So if you like what you hear tonight, tomorrow will be on SDA's channel, and the night after that will be on Scribes.
Alex Demyanchik asks, Scribelight, do you like the Foo Fighters? Mostly. I've never bought an album of theirs. I stopped buying albums a long time ago when I could just, at the drop of a hat, listen to any particular song I wanted off of YouTube or Spotify or something else. But yeah, Dave Grohl really hit it out of the park with his after Nirvana. So yeah.
Did you at least bite the head off the bat? No. If you had a chance,
does SDA get the reference?
What?
No.
Biting the head off a bat. Do you understand what reference that is? That's a reference to.
Obviously not.
Okay.
It's rock and roll history.
It is.
Todd, that was Todd that asked that one. Nothing for you here. If you had a chance to live forever, would you take it?
No.
Yes.
Depends if I could take people with me.
Extended lifespan, sure. Like if I could live my entire life in good health, sure. But like eternal life without being able to turn it off, no. Or if I were to have eternal life, I at least want to have the option of having it out if I decided to, that I could will it to stop.
Jim O'Donnell says Van Halen died when Eddie thought he could keyboard. 1984 was an excellent album. I don't care what you're saying. Cryptic, thank you so much. Get Real DVD is dead. Blu-ray failed. All hail streaming. You can't own Jack anymore. I buy DVDs and Blu-rays all the time.
I don't have a Blu-ray player yet. I should have a Blu-ray player by now, but I don't.
I eventually broke down and bought a Blu-ray player, but I got one that also allows streaming and stuff, since that's what we do most.
I have a PS4.
Oh yeah, we have the PlayStation and the Xbox that can do it as well. But
I watch my movies on the 360. So if I decide to upgrade the only reason I'd have to get a console, because anyway.
Mega Monster says, so Medicare retweeted a video in limited state. While it's race realism for now, how long will it be before it gets us? I don't know what any of that means. Well,
so limited state went live yesterday, I think. So it's possible that your videos aren't being showing up in subscriptions and stuff like that.
Yep,
and so now we're in the bubble of, if you don't see our videos in your subscriber list, it could be a consequence of that. This is why, and I mentioned this last night, because YouTube is effectively working against the ability of people like us and otherwise to reach an audience. People sharing our videos is far more important now than it ever was before. So if you like what we do, besides just hitting that like button, also take a moment to put it on Facebook or put it out on Twitter or something else to spread the word, because YouTube's not going to do the heavy lifting anymore for us.
SDA, would you rather be a vampire or a werewolf? I'm just going to judge by most of the, I don't know, by the most popular things, I guess. vampire.
Yeah. I would be if I had a choice, I'd be a Lasombra vampire from Vampire the Masquerade. They can control shadows.
If you could rule over a country, which one would you choose and why?
Micronesia, because there's a hell of a lot less to worry about.
I would choose the United States so I could fix the fucker.
You mean like fix it like Bob Barker does to his dogs?
Yes. Neuter the fuck out of it. I'm going to be Obama too. No, I would return us to free fucking speech.
Hmm.
No, I saw more questions there. Chat goes by too fast. Lady Monkey said that I have yet to realize that the youngest took the PS4 with him to college. I realized it. We just don't need it anymore because we have the other players. Would you prefer, or do you prefer cotton candy or popcorn?
Ooh, both.
Popcorn.
Popcorn. I can't take the sweetness of cotton candy anymore.
Bloodwing says he'd rather go Nosferatu. I'm already ugly, LOL. Yeah, Nosar got some cool lore and stuff.
No, I don't want to be ugly. That would be terrible. I don't know.
Yeah, but they have a power called obfuscate, which means they can either become invisible or assume the appearance of anybody they want to, technically. So, but they still remain horribly ugly for the rest of their existences. So.
Yeah, no, that would be terrible. No.
Yeah.
Yellow or brown mustard? Yellow, because brown looks like shit.
Yeah, I waited till I was 18 to try spicy brown mustard, and it wasn't worth the wait.
Zine says, have you read the original Dracula? Yes.
No.
I have, actually.
Yep.
Back in high school.
You've read something?
I read a lot, or I used to. Do you think humanity should spread out over the planet and the solar system? Yes.
That's our only option once we run out of room here.
Oh, shizzle.
Thoughts on protectionism from X Fireball?
I think it's important because here's the thing. There's not really a good way for us to have fair trade with a third world country. No matter what, you're still going to be able to pay Mexicans in dirt.
I believe in limited protectionism. I think you need to protect your country and your way of life. And by that, I mean your culture, not your color. Color is not a culture, fuckers. But I don't believe in it to the point that we got to in the 30s where we just weren't going to get involved in anything else, where we went to isolationism.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I just think that a degree of it is important because while I am for fair free trade,
yeah,
you also have to understand that, undeveloped countries are still undeveloped countries, and you just if we are complete free trade with them, we're getting the shitty end of the deal every time.
Yep. Do you think Sargon, this comes from Mega Monster, do you think Sargon will get over this stuff quickly, just settle and move on? I don't think he'll be financially devastated or anything. Here's another one I'm going to get in trouble for. I don't think Sargon is humble enough to settle and move on.
I think that if he was humble enough to do that, he wouldn't have just reposted the video everywhere.
I think his pride is going to get the better of him, and he's going to make this much more expensive than it needs to be. SJ Jar Jar Binks, thank you so much. How do you see the state of YouTube and your channel at the rate the cancer we call this new YouTube IA is spreading? AI, thank you. I'm not too worried about it at the moment. The artificial intelligence marketing things is bad. It worries me, undoubtedly, especially how many of us got hit with the demonetization this last round. They demonetized fucking everybody. We'll see. I'm cautiously pessimistic. Would you treat people who deny others free speech with high treason?
What do you mean by that?
How by what method are they denying it? I guess is the question. Are you talking about by violence or something?
Not like
yeah.
I would be like, that's assault, motherfucker. Yeah, no.
I mean, if someone's in a position of authority where like if you're a sheriff or you're a congressman or something, and you actively take action to restrict someone else's speech, that's a civil rights violation. I don't know that that's treasonous per se, but then I'm not a lawyer, so.
Oh,
No, I wouldn't count it as treason.
can I just say something that I'm super, super excited about?
Sure.
So it's officially Halloween commercially, which makes it Halloween. I don't care what anybody says. I'm already spooky SD on Twitter. Judge me all you want. This is my favorite holiday. And we're going to go to Michael's tomorrow, and they have Halloween candles, and I am so excited.
I always thought Michael's was Michael Myers. Like, that's where you go for Michael Myers stuff, because that's where all the Halloween stuff was. It was like, Michael's. That when I was a kid. I was like, Michael's.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm so fucking excited.
Cody Fry asks, what are your opinions of Sargon overall? Not trying to start a fight, just curious. Tend to side more with y'all anyways. Do you guys want to go first before I give my opinion on this?
I like Sargon. I like his content. I still watch This Week in Stupid. I like his Thinkery videos where he's just shit posting. I think, okay, maybe he's getting a little bit big for his britches, if you will. I think maybe he's got a bit of a big head. So I think that's probably why he's maybe getting a little too cocky, especially in this case with, and even like with not Christy Winters, even with the Christiosity thing. And with this, where he's like, oh, fuck it, I'll just repost it everywhere. I think he's going to drag it out needlessly for the sake of pride. And I don't think that's a good thing.
I'm a big fan of his scholarly analysis videos on specific groups or liberalism or certain books. His older videos where he was talking about ancient history and debating that kind of stuff, I really appreciate. And you know, truth be told, the way I do my videos is inspired in no small part by some of the kinds of videos that Sargon used to do. So I have a lot of respect for him as an intellectual and sort of a creative role model. But I've also seen him do things that are off the ranch. In his earlier days, he got into some really tinfoil hat, red string on the corkboard stuff when Gamergate was first starting up. It didn't last long, but it lasted long enough for me to kind of go, I think you're stretching. And yeah, he's, as he said before, he's very strident in his opinions. He's very bullheaded about things, somewhat to his own detriment. And I think this is just one more example of maybe he went a bridge too far, so to speak.
Very early on, we were asked our opinion of Sargon, and I said at the time that he wasn't my cup of tea. And what I meant, and I explained that at the time, I find him to be very verbose. He talks way too much to say not a whole lot, in my opinion. And I don't mean that he's not saying anything. He could say the same thing in 5 minutes that it takes him 3 hours to say. So I'm not a fan of his style, but that's not to say he had nothing to say. And I agree with many of the positions he puts out there. However, while it is necessary to have some kind of ego to put yourself out there, not only does he seem to be getting one that's maybe time to rein in a little bit, he also seems to be very thin-skinned, and I have a problem with thin-skinned people. If you go back and you actually watch the reaction to what happened at VidCon, he got really, really, really upset by that. Mm-hmm. And I understand getting called garbage by somebody might upset people, but if somebody did that to me, my reaction would be to fucking laugh my ass off.
Mm-hmm. There would have
been video of me laying on the floor laughing.
Right? I mean, because that's what my first thought would be too, because whenever I get really nasty comments on my videos and stuff, because my mom reads my comments, she's like, oh my God, are you okay? And I'm like, I've been laughing about this with people for like all day. It's okay. It's fine. But yeah, he takes
himself a little too seriously sometimes, which is odd considering how much he tries to play the comedian. If you're gonna play the I was telling a joke card, you need to be able to laugh at yourself first. Overall, I don't hate his content. Some of his personality quirks are starting to shine.
Thank you, Jar Jar Binks. Oh, SJ Jar Jar Binks. Okay. Do you feel all speech should be free, or do you keep some reservations for things such as don't scream fire in a crowded theater if there is no fire?
Thank you for the donation. I am a 100% free speech person. The only exception I put is if you like ask somebody to kill somebody for you. That's no longer speech.
Well,
that's
inciting a riot or inciting some kind of panic. I mean, so screaming fire in a crowded theater, that's not protected because all you're doing is inciting panic. And that would be
conspiring to commit murder or things like that, right?
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, there are exceptions to the freedom of speech, so long as whatever you are doing is not infringing upon the rights or putting anyone else at risk directly as a result of what you are doing. Then, in general terms, and again, there's a whole bunch of legal gray areas. In general terms, free speech is free.
Mm-hmm.
And even in those instances, you're not in trouble for what you said; it's for what you did.
Right.
Legally, there's no. If you just say fire in a theater and there's no damage or anything, chances are it's not going to hold up if you were to fight it all the way. It's if it causes problems, and that's why it's illegal. It's because it can cause problems.
Right.
In theory, it's not the speech itself; it's what the speech causes. It's the incitement,
and it's the intent. You know that doing so will cause things to go chaotic. Then it's not the speech itself, but it's your actions as using your speech as a tool to incite something awful happening.
But somebody could take that argument and say, well, then if you're saying that somebody's fat or something, you could be inciting them to go get an eating disorder. I mean, like, you could stretch that logic.
Well, the difference is I've never heard of anybody being called fat and trampling themselves immediately.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. I do. I get the slippery slope. As I said, I am almost a 100% free speech person. I don't think saying fire in a theater should be an issue. I think you should be able to walk into a airport and chant bomb the whole way you're walking through it. Because
Sorry,
I just don't it's speech, and I really don't. I understand why we have those laws. I don't like them, but as long as it's really, really limited like that, I can live with it, I guess.
You know that bomb is Polish for fuck you, right?
No, it's not.
Oh my God, backscan. Does free speech cover yelling Snickers at a Weight Watcher convention? Probably not.
Oh my God, that's really funny.
Depends on
that
how
might
big
be
the
worse
venue
than
is.
yelling fire.
I wonder what would happen if you scream Allahu Akbar in a crowded theater. Well, yeah. There are a shit ton of pointless laws on the books. There are actually here in Michigan. I don't know if they've ever repealed it, but I know at least a few years ago, legally a wife could not cut her hair without her husband's permission.
That's right. Oh.
I always love that law because it keeps women down.
So when was the last time that Lady Monkey asked your permission to cut her hair?
Never.
Oh, well, and she's breaking the law. You should take her up on charges.
I like her being a bad girl. Ask Jar Jar Binks. Thank you. Reason was asking because of Vagina and the General.
Virginia and the...
Oh, I missed the letter there, didn't I?
Vagina and the General. That sounds like a porno.
That's actually what I thought it said too.
that sounds like a Confederate set porno.
P Dog Knight, it says, or convince someone to kill themselves. Yeah, because to me it's the same as asking somebody to kill someone else.
Yep.
I don't see how that's different.
Yep.
I don't see how that girl's any different than what Charles Manson did.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Jack Cochran, I'm going to get some underwear painted up that say "Da bomb" over my junk. Then I can go to the airport and say I'm packing "Da bomb."
1
Jack,
minute warning.
I love you.
1 minute warning.
Yeah, we're gonna call it a night here, guys. We'll go over some things here. We have a stream on Sunday, 3 o'clock. Are we still on?
As far as I know, yes.
Cool. We will be covering on my channel, 3 p.m. Eastern time, the classic 1980s movie, Running Scared. I fucking love that movie. It'll be me and Scribe. And SDA, you have a Baywatch this weekend?
Yeah, sorry. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Again, guys, if you want to know more about the Sargon thing, go check out Leonard French's channel. He does a good rundown of it. It is long and boringly legal, but that's kind of what you want if you want to know actually what's going on. Chat, thank you guys so much. Thank you for the anniversary wishes. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for showing up and being you guys. If you're in Texas, please be safe and let us know when the storm passes that you're okay. Scribe SDA, a pleasure as always. Guys, your life makes me sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye,
Bye, guys.
guys.